since I last had you on, we had one of our own Hesvillians of your own ilk.
Correct.
Yeah, and
Preacher.
I know you wanted to address that.
I did. Had a special, unique relationship with him because I did respect him, and he always talked about Wicker Park because I do believe he loved it. And I remember early on, literally, I was trustee for about a day, and he came to see me, and he had grand plans to turn Wicker Park into a hotel resort with golf and a lake, and so he truly believed all of that. And I mean, I listened, and I'd be a liar if I didn't say sometimes he aggravated me, but I think that's who he was. But on the same note, I respected him, and I was always a friend of his. I remember the other aspect of a memorable moment is when he wanted to introduce what was the Beatles band? It's not modern English, it's American English.
American English.
And I said that if he said Wicker Park was the greatest park and it should stay the way it is, then he could introduce it. But he never yielded, no matter how badly he wanted to introduce the Beatles. And then at the very end, we let him do it, and he was in a tuxedo, and he just loved. That was a good moment for him, and he did his little, and now the Beatles. And so I have fond memories of him, and he was a character who entertained. And I thought he did. So having partnering with Amy and working this contract out, we have therapists in-house that would be able to see someone, assess them, and get them into a program. And it would be on the cost of the township. So what we're trying to do is put up a small, short-term investment to be able to get long-term stability for people. And I think that it tied into the fact that the state of Indiana, this legislative session, was moving along with drug testing TANF. And what we are trying to do is say that if you're going to do that, if you have an addict, you've got to be able to offer up some sort of recovery. And Regional has the most sophisticated system in place to be able to service those needs. And it's my priority for this year to, wherever I go, talk about regional mental health and the services that they offer, but more importantly, offer that to our clients, because real life scenario, Joe walks in, Joe's unstable, Joe's unchemically balanced, something's going on with Joe, and he can't provide for himself or his family. And as a case manager or as myself, that something's wrong. And what we would normally do is we would assist them and be like, oh, Joe's crazy. Or we would say, here's a pamphlet, you need to go to regional mental health. And Joe would go like, all right. And we'd see Joe over and over and over again because they are incapable of working because of the illness or the addiction that they have. So what we're doing at our office is we're going to say, hey, Joe, you could see, if you'd like to, right now, you could see Ruben or John, and we can start working on a plan to get you where you need to be stable. That way they are seeing a trained therapist or a psychiatrist. There are addiction in and outpatient services that Regional Mental Health offers, and it is a number one priority I have because I can no longer do nothing.
He's Frank Mrvan, and she is Amy Lopez. She is Administrative Manager for Regional Mental Health. And if you have any comments or questions about this program, 219-845-1100. So, Frank, has it started yet?
It sure did. The beginning of February, we
Correct.
started putting therapists there in the offices.
And are they seeing people?
They're seeing people. And their goal, see, our case managers aren't trained, even though Regional is giving us training as far as identifying markers. And so this system will evolve. But what this does is it allows a professional to be able to, for lack of a better term, if we flip over a client to a professional, they will know how to diffuse situations who are angry or stressed or who are depressed or who have bipolar. We see a lot of people with post-traumatic stress syndrome, and we don't have the capacity to be able to help them. And a lot of times when people come in, they just want someone to talk to. And so our case managers, with the amount of people that we are seeing, can't really give the time and attention. This will give a trained therapist the opportunity to assess, to talk, and to be able to offer options. Along with Dial-A-Ride, then we'll be able to get people the help that they need. And so the other side of that is, we have people who are addicted to drugs and alcohol, prescription, liquor, whatever it might be their affliction, and we need to move them to the next point. I could no longer just service someone because the Constitution says I have to, but yet not offer them the assistance that they need because of an addiction. And I think the taxpayers and the community as a whole will be better off if we're offering these people. And what we're doing is that we're tying it into their assistance. So they will sign an agreement with us that as long as they go to these sessions or participate in these programs, we'll assist them and we'll wean them off until, you know, the full cycle would be getting them stable, getting them off of where they need to be or recovery, and then offering with education and employment. But if we hand out a check, we're basically throwing that into the wind if we're helping someone out with their rent or their utilities, but yet they're addicted to drugs or they're bipolar or they have post-traumatic stress syndrome or depression. So this is a must in what we do as far as human services.